And I think Don, if you don't mind, Paul, because me and him were emailing back and forth. If you could email him the link that you just emailed me, because I guess the link maybe that is in the agenda packet
is wrong.
Yeah, so we had an update to our Zoom meeting, I think, and maybe it just didn't get updated on the website. I'll send it to him right away.
Yeah, he just emailed me again asking, hey, did you hear anything? So you can save me the quick second there. Sorry about that, everybody. I apologize to all those that are on the call, but we're all here now. So thanks for being here. Let's see, who do we got here while we wait for them? We got Jim, Noel, we got Tom. What's up, Tom? How you doing, man? Good. We got Paul. Looks like we got a couple people from the community, which is great. Thanks for all being here. Just give us one quick second. Alderman Dorff, thanks for being here too. I appreciate it when aldermen are on the call.
And women, older women as well.
Yeah. Is it alderman, alderwoman? Which one is it?
It would be alder.
Alder. Okay.
Cut it right off. Alder person, alder woman. I answer to both of those, but not alderman. Nope.
Not alderman. All right. My apologies. I will work on alder. Alder. Gosh, that's going to be hard for me. I'm
just
so
say
sorry.
alder. Cut it right off.
Alder
Dorff.
There we go.
Here I am.
I love it. I'm just emailing Don, just to let him know, and I'm so sorry again.
I just sent it, so.
Okay, let's see if he claps on. Well, we do have a quorum, so we can move forward without him, even though I know he is waiting. So we don't waste any time. So we'll call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum, which is great. We will wait for Don when he gets here, but we'll keep moving forward. So to keep this moving real quick, we have obviously our agenda and minutes. Before we get started, is anybody on the board here that needs to abstain from the two that we have on our regular business when we get to those? No? Everybody good?
No.
Okay, great. That's good. And then did anybody speak to anybody regarding these properties outside of this meeting?
No.
No.
Great. Okay. And did anybody? Oh, Stephen. Hey, what's up? He's hey, very good. Welcome aboard, man. New member here. That's awesome. For tonight, unless Don doesn't come on, we'll have you as just an observing member. And non-voting. If for whatever reason we get to the first person of order and Don's still not here, we can have you step in on that one. Oh, there's Don. So just observe and then we'll go from there. So thanks for being part of this group though. That's fun to have you.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Was anybody able to see or go visit any of the properties? No? Okay. Great. Well, let's do this first. Let's get an approval on tonight's agenda. Is there any changes, anything anybody wants to make on that? No, so I'll take a motion to approve the agenda for tonight.
I'll move.
And any second?
Second.
All right. Oh, I'll give it to Tom. All right, so we have a first and second there. All those in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, perfect. Agenda is approved. Perfect. And then last month's meeting, we will look over the minutes. Anybody have any questions, concerns about the minutes from last month's meeting? Anything they want to change or add or update? If not, a motion.
I move to accept the minutes.
Thank you, sir. That was Jim. Anybody want to second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Tom. All right. Jim and Tom, first and second, and we'll take a quick vote. All those approve the minutes for last month, say aye.
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 Great. We're moving forward good here. All right, so we are basically ready to jump into the two agenda items for appeal. Again, a reminder for those that aren't here for the public, our job is to listen to the appeal. We'll get first from Paul and city staff. We'll get an overview of the project or of all the necessary information, and then what we'll do is we'll hear from the applicant. If there's people that are opposed, we'll hear from them as well. We'd ask everybody once we're done with discussion to refrain from adding anything unless asked once we've had the discussion portion, so that we can discuss and then make a vote. A majority holds in this sense. So we have 5 people, so a 3-2 vote carries the variance, and it is granted. If it's less than that, obviously it's not granted. And then, you work with the city to try and find a solution. Our goal is to try and find, obviously a solution for any applicant. We would love to say yes, but ultimately what we're trying to do is that 3-step test that is on the application in terms of the land use, the hardship of that land use, and how that land will live on beyond the individual that is living there, because people move, right? And that property is going to stay there with that variance. So we have to consider that as well. So that's kind of our process here for those that are with the community. So thank you for being on here. Other than that, anybody else have anything to add before we dive in? Yes, Jim.
I think we have to approve the agenda first.
I think we did. Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay,
You firsted
I'm
it.
behind in times. I fell asleep, sorry.
You firsted it. So
Well,
yeah,
you know,
that's okay.
not so fast.
What
We're
about
good.
opening the floor? Don't we normally open the floor?
Yep, that'll be the next thing. I just wanted to get thoughts. I thought it'd be good for us to start, especially when we have people from the community, to kind of explain who we are, why we are, and give a little context about this process, since a lot of people, we do it every month, but a lot of people haven't been on here. But other than that, if there is nothing else, let's go ahead and take a motion. Let's open the floor. We don't do this, just so everybody knows, we're supposed to do it for each individual items, but it's tedious. That's why we ask a little level of respect when we say, hey, discussion's done, because what we're supposed to do is formally close the floor after each one, but we're trying to just speed it up for everybody. So we'll open the floor at the beginning, everybody can discuss, we'll ask you to stop, and then at the end, we'll close the floor. If we need to, and it gets a little rowdy, we'll close the floor in between each one, but we decided to not do that. So on that note, motion to open the floor will be in order here.
So moved.
Thank you, Don. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Tom. You are the second man today. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So all those in favor of opening the floor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Floor is open for discussion. So let's jump right in. We're going to go to Appeal 22-003. Property is 3526 Black Wolf Run. And they're looking for a deviation from the corner side setback. And we have Alderdorf here as well. I got that one right there.
May I say something, please, Tommy?
Of course.
Chair.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, I need to be on protection policy in a minute. And
Okay.
so if I don't get a chance to speak, I just want to say I'm here in support of Jennifer. I'll stay on till the last possible second. They're going to text me when my item is up on that agenda, but I will stay on to the last second. I'm just in support of her request. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate always when alders are on the call, and I appreciate you jumping in. Please feel free anytime you're with us to let us know at the beginning, especially during the agenda approval. If we need to bump you up, we're happy to accommodate alders because we love their participation here. So thank you for being here. All right, so is the applicant on the phone for 3526? We'll start there. Hi.
Yep, that's me.
Jennifer.
Hi.
All right,
We're
go ahead.
starting with Paul
setting it up for us.
Oh, you're right, Noel. So Jennifer, I'm so sorry. I screwed that up. What we will do is we'll have Paul kind of tee this up for us. He's going to basically give an overview. His goal is not to tell us one way or the other. It's just to kind of tell us where we are, lay of the land, and then you get to kind of build your case. All right, Paul, it's you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also want to let you know that I'm double booked tonight. So we have a plan commission meeting at 6 and I have an item on that agenda. So I'm going to try and stay on the call as long as I can. So hopefully we can get through these 2 items. Let me bring up an aerial photo of the property. 3526 Black Wolf Run. It's the corner of Troon and Black Wolf Run. It's just north of Red Smith School. It's a corner lot, single family home, zone low density residential. Because it's a corner lot, we treat front yards the same as corner lots. What was proposed or what's been done here is there's been a pad constructed in the front setback, so to speak, and I also believe a shed's been constructed along that Troon frontage. Some images of the site kind of showing the driveway side, the west side of the property with the fence. This shed or the pad for the shed is inside the fence. And it's displayed in this image here. What this is basically on corner side yards, there is an exception for accessory structures. Typically, they have to be set back 55 feet from the right-of-way line. On corner lots, there is an exemption where it can go to the setback of the home, of the principal use. In this case, the setback is probably closer to 25 feet or so. There is a home to the south here. It's not shown, but that's not a factor. This house would set the setback here, and it happens to be in the front yard setback. So they're looking for setback reduction in that corner side yard setback.
Got it. Everybody on the, before we get to the applicant, everybody on the board clear on what we're looking at here? I do have one question before we hear with the applicant. The fence, is the fence involved in this at all? I know we have a fence in the next one as well, but.
Not in this one, no.
Okay, so the fence is currently to code, everything's good with the fence. It's just this slab beyond the fence.
Correct.
Okay, that was my only question for you. Thanks, Paul. All right, anybody else have anything? for Paul?
Is there an
Yep, go ahead.
issue with the egress window, or was that just kind of collateral information?
Yeah, I was kind of saving that towards the end of the meeting. So, you know, we've been talking with the board members about I guess, a variety of requests that you see. One has been egress windows recently. So just a matter of fact, today with our projects team, we changed our policy to include egress windows, much like we treat porches and stoops in the front setback. So they're an allowable encroachment, so to speak, because they are primary access to the dwelling. So it's more of a policy change that we made. It's not an ordinance change, but a policy change. And therefore we've excluded that request as part of this request.
Hold on.
Hey, progress. That's awesome. Thanks, Paul. Cool. All right, applicant, the floor is yours.
Yes, hi, forgive me, I don't know the formality or anything with this, but thank you for having me. Paul's been a very big support for me and I appreciate that. Yes, this was purely, I'm just trying to see if there's something that can be done. I understand that there's ordinances and things like that, and I want to make sure as a homeowner in Green Bay that I am adhering to them. My hope is that it is, because it is within the fence, it is a little less obvious. I'm hoping. I realize that this is kind of a unique situation. I am right on a major path and things like that. So I understand that. But if there's anything that you guys can do for me, I'd appreciate it. And I hope you guys will approve my my plea to you today.
Thank you for that. Any questions from the board members for the applicant here?
Yeah, is there a reason why the shed is on Troon and isn't in the back corner, so to speak, where there wouldn't be an issue with either front yard setback?
Yeah, thank you. The reason I had set it up that way, it was originally set up with my fence. I have two gates on my fence. I have a 4-foot and an 8-foot gate. I put the smaller one on the east side of my house. And I put the bigger one, which Paul's showing here. Thank you very much. That's my 8-foot gate. So I can have my lawnmower and snow blower just right off of my driveway here to be able to get through my fence and to be able to go directly into my shed. The other side, my driveway is not easily accessible to the east side of the house, which is directly on Black Wolf, which would be to the right of that star on your screen there.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the board members for the applicant?
How many feet are we talking about being out of alignment? I mean, what's the distance? Is it 10 or 20 feet? I guess that's a Paul question.
I don't know if we have a solid number. I don't think it's 10. It's probably closer to 5, just kind of
5 feet.
scaling
Okay,
some dimensions.
gotcha.
Okay. Is there any other questions from the board members? All right. Is there anybody on the call that is from the public in terms of for, we heard from the alder, for or against, that wants to speak in favor of this item? Okay. All right. If there's no other discussion for the applicant, let's just kind of dive into it. From a board perspective, does anybody have any thoughts towards where we're going with this? Noel, you're usually a good barometer for us. So go ahead, buddy.
Just a question for Paul. I mean, if this were not a corner lot, would we be having this conversation or would it be compliant?
If it wasn't a corner lot, it would have to be set back 55 feet.
The shed would need to be 55 feet from the right of way?
Right.
Yeah, you're saying 55 feet from Troon or 55 feet from Black Wolf?
Yeah, I think that would be helpful for me if you can
Yeah.
go to the aerial and kind of put your mouse over where this currently is, because the fence isn't there on the aerial.
Right. So this would be the right of way line here. And any accessory structure, detached accessory structure has to be set back 55 feet from the right of way line.
Ooh. And because it's a corner, you said it's accepted up to 35 feet. Is that what you said, Paul? Or 30?
Right. So again, that was one of those things the board was seeing a number of those types of requests that you're kind of penalized when you're on a corner lot, right? Your lot gets real small real quick. So there was an exception made that you could go down to the average setback. However, it still doesn't meet the average setback and still is in that front yard setback. So it's still exceeding that requirement.
And where your mouse is currently, is that where it's kind of sitting right there? It's just in front of the house?
Right. It's generally in this area right here. Yeah, you don't quite see the fence, but it's generally inside right here.
And in this case, this is where I always get confused with corner lots, is you don't know where to determine the front, right? So in this case, is the driveway be considering the front, or both sides of it being considered the front?
Both are the front. That was kind of the penalty, right, for having a corner lot. So that's why we made that exception to the code.
And the fence is not encroaching on that fence setback on the front side? Because don't those normally have to be shorter?
Well, with that, they can go 1/2 the setback. If it goes up more than half the width of the home, or that structure, it can go to 6 feet. If it's in the front setback, then there's 3, 4, and 5. There's limitations on the height and how transparent it can be.
And if this is in the setback, right? The fence is in a sense, right? Because this is
Yeah.
contained inside that setback, right?
Correct, yes.
So in a way, we're
Inside
treating
setback,
that
but-
side. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say there's different requirements for the fencing and the accessory structure.
Got it. Okay. But it's almost like the fence is treating that portion of the house in this instance, like that's the backyard, right? That side is more of a backyard and the other side is more of the front yard.
Right.
In
and I-
theory, right?
That's why there's some flexibility with the fencing and increasing that height to give corner lots a little bit more backyard, so to speak, but we don't want a fence that covers the entire structure, right? We don't want to close off structures. We want them to be open and visible to the streets. So yeah, again, the fence is not the issue. It's just that placement of the accessory structure. They're just treated differently.
I don't know, for me, it's just so I can give my thoughts on it. Maybe I shouldn't as the chair first, but it's contained within a fence that is designing the space to almost feel like part of a backyard, and that is within code. It's sitting there, it's covered. So I don't know, for me, I'm kind of leaning towards approval, but I'm open to hearing some pushback or thoughts from other members.
Yeah, I guess.
Or agreeance.
Mr. Chair, I'm still trying to get my brain around the question I asked was, that slab or the shed itself. How far is it off of Black Wolf Run?
I believe it's about 15. I don't know that the drawing that was provided was super accurate. So I'm kind of guessing at the dimensions that I had.
I think you meant, Paul, 15 off of Troon.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how far off of Black Wolf Run it is. Because it's behind the house in this picture here. So.
Yeah. It's off of Troon, it's shown as approximately 22 feet. But again, that's not a scale drawing, that's just a dimension on there.
Yeah, but I'm trying to see, so they're just following the line of talking that Tommy was just doing, saying, okay, if Black Wolf Run is the front yard in the way, right? Then is the shed far enough off the front setback? That's why I was asking if Troon weren't there, if it was just another house next door, would we be having this conversation, or would there be an appropriate location for the shed?
We would not be having this discussion, right? It would be an interior lot, 4-foot setback, right? It would be more than 55 feet back, sure.
Yeah, okay, that's kind of trying to get my brain around, because it's like, yeah, it's almost like you've got, with corners, you've got the visibility of structures and, fences and all those other things from two sides. And it really is a challenge for a resident. I mean, where, even if you got to put garbage cans, out of sight, where do those go? All these challenges that come with owning a corner lot and occupying a corner lot. And, in this case, it's by fencing that area. I mean, it's the owner's kind of declaring what's the front, what's the back. And I almost am inclined to treat then the property that way, from the standpoint of, okay, they stuck something in the backyard, and although it's on this, it's, too close to the side, or the second front setback, it's a different story, because it's, fenced and other things as well. If it were, sitting a couple feet off the right of way without a fence, I'd probably have a completely different opinion about whether or not it was appropriate, because it would be unsightly, and I'd be making the argument, why don't you put it in the far back interior corner of the property? But, I guess it's really tricky. Corners are tricky places, it seems, and we've got to figure out how to apply the rules in a way that doesn't completely prevent people from utilizing their spaces too.
Right, and our rules are kind of one size fits all, right? So that's why we have the Board of Appeals, and maybe, people apply for variances because it doesn't always fit.
All right, Tom, Don, or Jim, any thoughts?
I'm of the mind of approval. My question was geared to see how close we were to meeting it. If we're talking about 5 feet, give or take, and where it is in the fence, I don't have an issue with this. So I'm heading for approval.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Don or Tom?
I see the utility of the request, as far as particularly tonight, getting the snow blower out to the driveway. I can totally sympathize with that perspective. So I'm in favor of passing it.
Thanks, Tom. Don, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm okay. I think the fence makes all the difference. And if the fence is totally in compliance, it defines the yard differently, just as Noel is saying, and yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, all right, it looks like we are looking for a motion then. I think we're all kind of in the same spot. So Noel, you want to take us there? Or I shouldn't volunteer you. Nope, never mind.
I'll move that, I make the motion that we approve the variance request as presented to us tonight.
Second.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Noel. Thanks, Don. All right, all those in favor, let's say aye or aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, so you've got approval for the variance. So just work with Paul on any next steps, if there is any, and you're all good to go. Just a point of thing, I always like to point this out, because I know this process can be intimidating or whatever, but just if this ever happens again, partner with the city before you do any changes to your house, because it might, cause one of these situations. And then also that application, I noticed it was a little incomplete. That helps the case so much, that 3-step test, and answering those 3 questions and really understanding that helps us fill in the gaps pretty quickly. So But thank you for being here, and I know it can be a little weird, so you did great. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Paul, for your support. He's been amazing. Thank you.
Yay. Good job, Paul.
Yeah,
Thank
just,
you.
we'll have you follow up with Pete O'Connor to secure the
Okay.
permits and go from there.
Will do. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
All right.
everybody. Have a good evening.
Yep, you too. All right, Paul,
Bye.
let's get you through this tee up real quick because I know you got to go soon. We'll move on to the next agenda item. It's Appeal 22-004 for property 430 Fairview Court. They want to deviate from a height requirement. I know we did get some comments that we want to add to the record. I'm not sure if I have to read all of those, looking for guidance on that, or they can just be admitted to the kind of the record, but we'll go over that in a second. Paul, hit us.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. 430 Fairview Court. This is a corner lot, and this time we are talking about a fence. Single family home, zone low density residential. This is a case where the property owner secured a permit from the city, but it was apparently exceeded. And in that case, the fence, it wasn't so much in the perimeter, it was more or less the height of the fence. So if you can kind of see in this photo here, it is now, I think, roughly maybe a 6 foot high solid fence. When you look at the other homes in this block here, they kind of taking an average of those, that kind of sets the corner side yard setback here. This fence is ahead of that. It's in the front yard setback. So when it's in the front yard setback, it's got to follow 3 foot solid, 4 foot 50%, 5 foot 80%. So in this case, this is probably a 5 or 6 foot fence in height that is solid. So that is violating the height limitations of fence in the corner side yard.
Okay, and to be clear, if you're going to go back for me, Paul, if you can go back to sharing your screen, if that's okay, real quick.
Sure.
The fence is in this satellite image. It is the one on the right. Is that correct? In this
I believe so, yes.
That's it right there. Okay, so it is not necessarily a corner spot. It's a duplex, but it's the other side of a corner. Is that correct, Paul?
I'm not sure. It's the corner side yard is how we view it. I mean, it looks like the backyard or rear yard, but it's treated on the front side as a corner side yard setback. Corner side yards are treated like front yard setbacks.
Got it. Okay, so this is not a duplex.
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, my misunderstanding.
You got
I
the
apologize.
garage there as the bigger structure, or that other big structure, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
The
All right.
detached garage, yeah.
So the idea here that we're looking at right here is where that line of the roof goes, the fence can come up across that and be solid, but once it encroaches towards the front, it should be 3 feet solid, 4 foot, 50%, or 5 feet, 75% viewable.
Correct.
Up until you get to the average setback of all the houses on that spot.
Right. Generally speaking, it's the garage in this case, give or take, but that would be the line. So it's exceeding that. Obviously, that's a concern for driveways, people leaving their driveway, backing out. Could be a visibility issue. That's why there's limitations in the front yard.
Okay, and then last question for you, if you have to go, that's cool, but I want to try and get all of my questions before you go. You said the city was given a permit for a fence. The issue is the height of the fence and the visibility of the fence wasn't necessarily followed, but the placement of the fence is fine as long as it was within those parameters. Is that what we're saying?
Well, it would have to meet the 3, 4, or 5. I'm not concerned about the footprint of the fence, so to speak. It's just the height of the fence.
Okay, and then did this come through a complaint, or did this come through with a city drive-by or a follow-up with the permit?
I think it was maybe a follow-up with the permit.
Okay.
Is my understanding, yeah.
Okay, board members, any other questions for Paul before we get to the applicant?
Yes, Paul, I believe the applicant is contending that she provided all the necessary dimensions. I believe she's implying that she thought she had approval for what she did. Are you not agreeing with that position?
I can't verify that. I guess, again, this is something that was handled through our inspection department as a follow-up to that permit. I can't speak to that directly, no.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm sorry, but what's the intersection we're looking at here on this corner?
I don't have the cross street, but I can get it.
It's Fairview and Elmore.
Yeah, Fairview and Elmore.
That's it, right? Thank you.
If you want a visible map, Bing's overhead map clearly shows the yard and the fence as it is. Google's maps are not up to date and don't show the current fencing.
Okay, any other questions for Paul? We might lose him, so ask now.
That's fine. I'll stick around as long as I can.
Thanks, buddy. All right, let's go ahead and go to the applicant. Are they on the call? If it is 7350880, you are muted, so just unmute. There
Okay,
you
can
go.
you hear me now?
Yes,
Yep.
we can. Thank you.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay, I applied for the fence and this is what I received back. There is no red ink on here, no revisions. So I didn't know that what I did was wrong. I would have gone through the variance process if I had known. Basically, I wanted to enclose my fence, my yard, because I've had things stolen and I've been vandalized. And a 3-foot fence doesn't really stop a vandal or a thief. I didn't know. Like I said, this is what I got back. I took the original in when I applied for my second loan. I could only afford to do half the fence at a time. And the lady behind the counter took it and I think she threw it away, but I had taken a picture of it and sent it to my girlfriend to ask her if her husband would help me put it up. And like I said, there's no revisions. Can you see this?
Yep.
Yes.
So I did what I thought was right. I didn't know any different. I have a neighbor who has a fence and his is within it in compliance. So when I looked at his fence and I looked at my fence, can you see the driveway on here? I didn't think my fence was any different.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the comments. Does anybody on the board have any questions for the applicant? Okay.
I took
Well,
pictures of other fences in around my neighborhood, and I have the addresses if you'd like that too.
we might need that. I mean, let's continue through this. And I always appreciate people doing due diligence and trying to build their case. Let's see where we're at, and then we'll ask for that if need be. Is there anybody currently on the call that is for and support of this or against that we need to hear from as well?
Maybe this is an appropriate time to note, if I missed it earlier and you said it, Tommy, I apologize. I think both Don and I received an email from Alder Stoyer today indicating support for this petition.
Yeah, I was going to go to that next. Just if I didn't know if there was anybody on the call. All right, I'm not hearing anybody, and I want to give it an extra minute while we're waiting, just in case, because I know there's one person I'm not sure I recognize on the call. There are a couple letters that we were sent. I'll read them very quickly. One from a neighbor at the Debbie Ludman. I think that's right. I'm horrible with last names, but 1186 Elmore Street. It was sent to us, and it says, "To whom it may concern, I'm writing on behalf of my neighbor, Ms. Fassbender, please know that I am in support of Denise having her fence. The fence has given her peace of mind. She spent a lot of money fixing it up. She has pretty plants all around it and is not a bother to anyone. It always looks nice. This would be a hardship for both emotionally and financially if the fence has to come down. I am in total support of Denise. Please let her keep her fence. So that was from a neighbor. There was another letter sent from a Miss Rita Delvaux, question mark, 1186 Elmore Street. In the concerns of the fence of Miss Fassbender, there should be no problem. I think it is fine. Denise keeps it trimmed. And there are small bushes. In summer, it looks very nice. The reason she put it up is because a neighbor, probably the same neighbor who complained her yard was messy. She got tired of it and wanted privacy. That is her backyard, so it shouldn't be a problem. She lives alone and bothers no one, very quiet. She doesn't have parties or play loud music. She lives alone and just wants privacy. It is a good looking fence and probably cost a mint. I think the fence should stay and the complainers should find some other thing to do with their time and leave Denise alone. There are other homes in Green Bay with fences, some for many years, so why should hers be a problem except because of a neighbor? I'm all for letting her keep the fence. Thank you for listening. My home is across the street from Denise. She doesn't know of my note, but she does now. So there's some neighbors of support for you. You can thank them, I guess. Is that, by the way, is that Paul? I've never been the chair where I've had that. So am I supposed to kind of record those for the record, or are they just kind of assumed?
Usually would identify the property owner or who sent the letter in and their address and maybe whether they were in favor or against the request, then we put that in the minutes. When we get them
Got it,
ahead
but I
of
don't
time,
need to
we
read
get
it.
them on the website right away. So they just came in late to us.
Got it. Okay.
Bobby,
I
that
will-
last one deserved to be totally read. Good job.
All right, bye. Sorry if I'm boring everybody. I will then, this one specifically asked us to read it. So this is from Alder Stoyer. He said, Denise Fassbender lives at 430 Fairview Court and is appealing to keep her 6-foot white vinyl privacy fence that she had erected on a corner lot of Fairview Court and Elmore Street. City Ordinance 4-450 discusses fence locations, heights, allowable materials, and construction methods. I spoke with the city inspector, Rob Cormier, at 430 Fairview Court as well. I understand the need for rules and organization in said matters. However, I would like the committee to consider the aesthetics of the erected fence on Ms. Fassbender's corner lot. Over time, Ms. Fassbender has greatly improved the visual presentation of her lot. She did a great amount of general cleanup and landscaping to improve the sight lines, especially on the 130-foot frontage section of Elmore Street. I drive by the property fairly often in my general observations of District 10, which I represent as its Alder. Your committee is quite thorough in looking at various issues that arise on the appeals matter. The committee is very good about visually looking at the properties in question, regardless of where it lies in the city of Green Bay. With an understanding of the ordinance, I would yet appeal the committee to grant Ms. Fassbender her request to keep up her 6-foot white vinyl fence. I have heard no complaints from any of the surrounding neighbors as well. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Alder Stoyer. So that was good for a participation as well. So even though he's here, comments. Noel.
I think we're looking at kind of the same situation as the last conversation in a sense. It's oriented differently, but this is a situation where there's definitely, even though it's a corner lot, there's definitely a front and a back to this property. And, and the petitioner is using the backyard and fencing it in a way that's consistent with a backyard fencing. And to the left of her house, looking at the front of it, if there were another house there and no street, we wouldn't be having this conversation. All would be well. I do have also some concerns about, the possibility of an error, and I know that shouldn't be used to grant any sort of variance. So I'm not factoring that into my consideration, but it's always a challenge when we've got, a question mark around process or something like that. But again, like I said, I think this is a situation where we're looking at, a corner lot which has constraints, and somebody's doing the best they can around it. Certainly got the support and love of many neighbors, and I think in this case, I'm inclined to support the requested variance as presented and would make a motion that way unless somebody wants to go a different direction.
I just, if you wouldn't mind, if I could just share some additional information, I located the permit. As the applicant stated, this came in like two phases. There was an initial phase, then a second phase. This is the approved site plan that I found. I'm not sure what the applicant's referring to, if she has a separate site plan or made some separate submittal, but this is what is associated with both permits on file. It shows a 6-foot solid fence, near the front of the house. And then it says 3-foot solid here. So I just wanted to share that with the board for your information for what it's worth.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Any other comments, questions from the board members of the applicant or general discussion?
I'd like to second Noel's motion.
Okay, any
You
other
should-
thoughts?
you should make it first then.
Are you not you're not a first guy, huh, Noel? You don't
No,
like to be first?
I can often be. I just, that was my inclination, and we haven't heard from everybody, and I don't want to make a motion until everybody's got a chance to, raise any questions. I don't want to steamroller folks.
No,
Just
it's fine.
we want to get this done, but
Yeah,
I do think this is good. I'll take away any cloud I put over the permit. It looked pretty clear to me that what was approved was a 3-foot fence in the front. So then we've got a situation where, the property owner built something that wasn't according to the permit, which is, I think, what we heard from Paul earlier, that was when this was discovered. The question is, do we make her tear it out and replace it with something different, or do we just what this is going to be okay? And I would move, despite the error, in that part, that we approve the variances requested and allow the fence to remain.
all right, so I have a first and a second. Before we get to any votes on that, Tom or Jim, you look like you have something you want to add, or a question or thought?
I'm in agreement.
Okay, Tom? Okay, let's take a vote and then a comment. I'll just make a comment here. Again, as I said I feel like part of my role as chair is to just kind of continue to help educate, the community. This could be a difficult process, and I think the city does its best. It's not without its errors or thoughts or miscommunications, but there is a way, right? So I want to make sure this comment is on record. There is a way to have a 5 or a 6-foot size fence for those concerns you listed. The issue is it would just have to be see-through, right? So a certain percentage of ability for you to be able to see through, and that's for sight lines, people being able to see out of their driveways. If they're coming out of driveway, they might be able to not be able to see down the streets. Corner lots run into this issue a lot because the sight lines are that way. So I just want that comment on the record, Ms. Fassbender, is that the 3-foot solid, right? Then there's 4-foot, a percentage, I believe it's 50%, and then a 5-foot 75% see-through, like a chain link fence or something like that. Obviously, that's not as visually appealing, but again, those setbacks are there for sightlines and safety issues. And I just want to make sure you understand kind of why that's there. And there is solutions for the security as well as the ability to do that. Noel, you have a comment?
Yeah, just one. I guess after my motion, I'd rather have Don's second be stated as a second after the motion made rather than prior. Okay. And then the other thing is the point you were just raising, Tommy, about sightlines and the reasoning behind the code as it stands for the visibility through a fence that as it approaches the right of way is a concern. And if in this case, when I saw the photos, if the terrace had been much narrower, I wouldn't be in the same boat that I'm in now. But it looks like the apron is pretty substantial, so anybody going down a driveway is going to be able to see a good distance down the street once they reach the sidewalk. And if it were a shallower apron, then I would have had a different set of concerns and maybe a different motion. But I think in this case it's adequate.
Yep. Don, do you second his second first?
I do second his first. I agree with the way it's been put by Noel. I'll add that I think that the applicant has done a sterling job of putting together shrubbery and landscaping around that fence. I think it looks terrific. And I salute her for what she's done, and I think that it deserves to stay there for that reason.
Yeah, good. Again, just to reiterate, because I always like to have a little bit of the city's back as well, is just through the process. Again, I know that there was approval, whatever, but I just want to make sure, there's a learning moment and that, there is a solution for a larger fence. It's just, these are the reasons why. But it looks like we're going to get your variance approved here. So let's go ahead and take a vote, gentlemen. All those in favor of granting the variance as stated, say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? Okay, hearing none. Your variance is approved. Again, thank you for going through the process. It can be not super fun, but we're nice guys and we try and figure this thing out here for everybody. And Paul, thank you for your input. Let's go ahead and take a motion. And so thank you. You can work with Paul on any follow-ups, anything you need to do to close it out. And you're good to go if you'd like. But thank you for being here.
Yep. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and take a motion to close the floor.
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Noel. Thank you, Don. So first and seconded by Don, Noel, and then Don. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Nay. Okay, floor is closed. For the sake of speed and time, there is that report, gentlemen, since we're moving on to informational discussion. I thought that report was interesting, right? We saw some stuff for the last year that Jessica sent out. Did everybody have a chance to take a peek at that?
Yes.
So I don't know, because Paul might have to go. I don't know if we want to keep punting, but I would love to set aside 10 minutes at some point, unless everybody's like, hey, let's do it tonight without Paul. I just think if he needs to go, I don't think it's a lot of point there. But I do think there's some interesting information there that we can maybe refer up to council or the planning department. It sounds like Paul's already making some decisions based on some of that information. So thank you, Paul, for being aware of that. Does anybody have any thoughts on kind of what I'm talking about? Maybe moving this to next month if everybody's schedules are good.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I think they did a really nice job tabulating what's been going on. It's very easy to understand the trend.
Yeah, and I love it. I mean, again, that's that feedback loop for us, and again, it's the beginnings of this idea, but even just in an annual report, even G4, I was telling my wife today, 17, I think were one of them in 1 year, that's at least one a month, right? That we're seeing. That's a lot, right? And so what can we do as a city, as a planning department, or from a code and start freeing up time, because all this is time, money, convenience with the city, letting people do what they need to do. So thank you, Paul, and your team for putting that together. It's awesome.
I want to give Jessie credit. I didn't touch it. So she's been tracking that for a while, and I asked her to step in and put it together, and she did a great job. She's not on the call tonight, maybe next month, but she put it together, so I would give her the credit.
Yeah, no, this is all good. Thank you, guys. And again, thank you for letting this process go. I think there's a lot of information we can continue to do with this to try and make it better. So again, I personally appreciate everybody going through this, because again, it was something I was kind of advocating for. So thank you.
Yeah, I agree with making sure we can set some time aside for it. And I think too, I want to just note, I mean, sometimes just because there's a lot of something doesn't necessarily mean we've got to change the code, because sometimes the things are things that need careful deliberation, every time they come up, even if they come up a lot. But there's other things that are just, maybe it is time to update something or refresh something because the code hasn't kept up with, building trends or something else like that. And I think that sort of report is the perfect tool for us to start digging into those sorts of instances and figuring it out. So I'm looking forward to that discussion.
Yeah, and I think there's still ways within this report to also get maybe a little granular, to kind of, instead of referencing maybe the code, but like overarching issues, setback, driveway, things like that, to kind of, you'll be able to see larger kind of ideas. But I think we can get through that as a group. So anyway, let's do this. Let's call it a night for tonight, so Paul can be on his way. Again, sorry for the delay at the beginning. I'm not sure, just so you know, Paul, that was the link in the agenda item if we need to update that. But thank you for getting that over to me.
Yeah, we'll work on it. Yep.
I appreciate that. And again, Paul, I hope we thank you enough. I appreciate all the work you do in coming to these meetings and queuing everything up. It's been very helpful for me 3-4 years ago, again, having you queue up each thing. I think the process is getting better for everybody. So thank you for the work you do. And
Yeah,
welcome aboard,
Thank you, guys.
Stephen.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Just-
Yeah, look forward to get to
this
know
is
you a
a-
little bit.
Just as a comment, there was an email sent out by Jesse that said that they had updated the link. So depending on where your reference point is for going into the Zoom, I guess the
Maybe that's on
caveat
me.
is if you
Yeah,
get an email from Jesse, heads up.
all right.
Yeah, love it. Okay, thank you for that. And then real quick also, is there any thoughts or comments on, I know we're just delicately talked about it, but getting back into person, is that something we desire, or is everybody keeping this? Do we have a choice over that, Paul, or is that something that's kind of dictated to us?
Well, as far as I know, we're all virtual. I haven't heard any rumblings about going back to in-person, maybe a hybrid model, but at this point, I would expect next month to be virtual, maybe April as well. But when we hear differently, we'll let you know.
Great.
Well, I'm glad we're virtual tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. I will hear a motion to adjourn and say goodnight to you fine gentlemen and ladies as well.
Move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Say bye.
Aye.
All right.
you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Have a great
Good night.
night. Stay safe out there tonight.
It was nice meeting you all. Take care.